I'm an engineer. That means I solve problems. Not problems like how do I fit a reference to an almost 20-year-old video game in the intro without killing viewer attention, because that would fall within the purview of your conundrums of philosophy. I solve practical problems. Like how do I stop a host of glyphid son bitches from tearing me a structurally superfluous behind? The answer? A gun. And if that don't work, use more gun. The engineer is the deadliest class to play in Deep Rock. Now wait, before you go running to the comments about how Gunner is better because he has a bubble shield, or if you're actually cool, you're going to say that Scout is better because he's got all that mobility that's really fun to play with and also makes him untouchable if you're good with it. Or if you're a war criminal like me, you're going to say that the driller's the best because melting glyphids and freezing glyphids and setting glyphids on fire is fun, and you're not wrong about that. Now, while I appreciate those comments because they help with the algorithm, please leave them anyway. I didn't say best. I said the deadliest. And I said that because each class in Deep Rock has a very specific role for it. And the engineer's role is to kill stuff. Now let's start with the engineer's base kit. Things that every engineer will have are a platform gun and turret. Now, while both of these things aren't as flashy as some of the other options we'll come to, they are just as equally as important for maximizing your kills at the end of the game. The platform gun, for instance, lets you make the most OSHA-violating workplace ever, as well as completely seal off tunnels and holes, which lets the team focus fire better. In addition, it also lets you extend cliffs so your team can move around more in like weird scenarios. They can also let you negate fall damage because they weren't good enough. They're also very good on some specific objectives because the cheese gun can cheese. It's awesome. The turrets are also very nice for defense segments, but also for horde clear as well as clearing rooms. They're just all around very useful. They do chew through ammo at a ridiculous rate, especially if you're running the Hoxxes system, because those turrets will shoot things in Japan. Now, every engineer needs a pouch full of grenades, so let's just quickly run through our options. Lures are incredible when paired with a grenade launcher, breach cutter, certain builds on the shard diffractor, and I've never met a driller who could resist a textbook C4 throw. Plasma bursters are bouncy grenades, and they're pretty good at clearing hordes. It's neat. Use them if you like them. I don't. Proximity mines are the Chad option. Are they always good in every situation? No. Are they fun? Yes. Are they cool? Yes. Are they satisfying? I'm just gonna let you answer that question. So the one grenade that's left are the shredders. And what do the shredders do exactly? Well, they do it all right? They clear through swarmers, taser brains, any of those like low health enemies. They kill them with ease. Grunts aren't much tougher. Any of the weird ranged enemies, they'll kill easily. Funnily enough, rival presence shredders get cooked by them. It's just uncontested in horde clear. They naturally split up, so you don't have to worry about one random enemy Praetorian just eating all the damage. They don't need to be aimed. They don't need targets to be in line of sight. Targets don't have to be grouped up, so as long as there are enemies somewhere, the shredders are getting value. They last for what feels like a lifetime. They are the perfect panic button, as well as extra damage when it's needed, and an ammunition saver, and it sticks around when you get down, and on top of all of that, it can't friendly fire, unlike some of the funnier options. It is a weapon of mass destruction in a can, and you get 4 of them. All of Engineer's support tools are superb. His turrets are the best at sustaining a defense and area denial. The platforms are really only limited by your creativity and are just a really good traversal tool in general. And he has the best grenade in the game, as well as some really good side grades in the grenade slot that are all situationally, and depending on how your team or the mission works out, all of them are really good. All right? I'm not going to say that, don't bring other grenades, because that's just toxic. I'm just saying, the shredders are really good. So, it's all great. What weapons could this guy have? Of course, he also violates the Geneva Convention. So let's start from the top, in the primary slot. The primary options don't seem too crazy on paper, until you unlock Turret Whip on your shotgun, and turn your machine gun turrets into rocket launcher and machine gun turrets. Or you get Stubby, which goes from being a dinky little SMG to the electric fence creator and the floor is electric add-on. And don't even get me started on the Lock 1, alright? This thing with explosive chemical rounds is insane. It's an anti-everything gun at that point. It aims for you, and the most difficult part of using it is counting to the number 3. You don't even have to count. The thing counts for you. You just have to recognize that the number 3 is on your screen. And me as a driller main, I appreciate this, alright? Not everything has to be complicated. Each primary has its own unique specializations and completely changes how you look at engineer as a whole. The best examples of this being Turret Whip, making your turrets monsters, and then what Stubby has going on with being able to electrocute turrets or platforms. It just changes how you look at the game. Now it's time for the part the Greybeards have been looking forward to. So the first secondary you get is a grenade launcher that lets you set things on fire in a massive area. And that's before you get any overclocks on it. It can become a mobility tool, a tungsten rod launcher, a nuke launcher, a noob tube spam from COD, or if you feel like it, it can have an area of effect so big you might as well just not even aim and just start clicking on random brown spots on your screen. The breach cutter doesn't need any overclocks, even though they are cool for sure, but like it's a fucking breach cutter. It does its job of peeling armor off Praetorians like they're crab legs, and also scything down hordes of grunts like they're nothing. And then we get to the shard diffractor, and this just feels like a gunner primary in the secondary slot. And you know we got synergies for days with this thing. Bonus against electrified enemies, ammo refunded on kills. Is that an AoE damage mod paired with the overclock that lets you have a bigger AoE? 2 of them? Don't mind if I do. Speaking of overclocks, you have one that lets you turn the terrain into magma. You have one that lets you turn into a Death Star for half a second. You have one that lets you turn any plascrete platforms into nuclear bombs. Like, dude, let me just sum up. The engineer's mobility is superb. His terrain manipulation abilities are only rivaled by the driller, whose whole thing is terrain manipulation. He has the best area denial in the game, the best grenade in the game, and all of his primaries can complement every one of his secondaries. Secondaries that are closer to weapons of mass destruction than a support weapon. Like, that's why the engineer is the deadliest class. No matter what direction you go in, there is something cool and broken waiting for you. Now, my word of warning to you greenbeards out there who think you can just pick up engineer and carry. It's not that simple. There's one feature I have not talked about. That is the thing in the bottom right of the screen right now. That's the ammo counter. Dude, I just gotta say it. Unless you're doing something ammo efficient, you're gonna run out of ammo really quick on engineer if you don't know what you're doing. So, sure, you have all the fun noisemakers, but you gotta know when to use them so you don't run out. I'm not gonna stop you from going out and having a lot of fun with engineer. And sadly, with the amount of indiscriminate bombings, drone strikes, nuclear fallout, and whipping that will be going on, I think the ICJ is going to be wanting to have a word with anyone who is prestiged more than twice as an engineer. Oh shit, it's them. So like and subscribe, the gunner video is coming up next, and I will be glazing the auto cannon. Have a good one, like and subscribe. Why are you shooting Alex? I just...
Damn it, I was aiming for you that time. Which one are you?
I'm the Texan with the Tom gun.
Wait, I'm the snowman.
Oh, I'm suffocating.
Hi, suffocating, I'm Dad.
I'm gonna kill you with a gun.